Absolutely very excited.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see, you know, how this story is going to be told in Hollywood. You know, I'm interested in the level of accuracy, you know, honesty and things of that nature. But we have a guest on the line with us who is in the film industry. He's a filmmaker, Rel Dowdell. He's responsible for some films you may know, Changing the Game, Train Ride, things of that nature. He's already seen the movie, of course, so we're just going to bring him on and get his opinion on the movie 42. So for the first time in the War Room, we'd like to welcome Rel Dowdell. Rel, how are you there?
Hey, how you guys doing today? All right.
Pretty good. And okay. Not to mention, you know, he's a Philly guy. He's a Central High School alum, as we are.
Right.
So glad to have you.
Absolutely.
We're going to cut right to the chase. You've seen this film. We all know the significance of the story and the need for Hollywood to tell it correctly, and most of all, like I was just saying, honestly. So how was it? Give us your take.
I'm going to tell you, I'm glad you asked. I saw the film at a private screening. As a film critic that reviewed my film, his name is Cam Williams. He said, Rel, you know, I'm going to go see 42, 10 o'clock a.m. tomorrow. Do you want to come? So I was like, yeah, let me get up early tomorrow and, you know, check out this movie. So I didn't know what to expect. I just knew it was coming out. So it was me, Cam Williams, and some of his friends that he had invited. They were mostly the older crowd, and it was a diverse crowd. And looking at the audience there, I would say there's about 10 of us there that day. But the older crowd that was there, I'm talking about older Caucasian people, older people of different races. Everybody was moved by the film. I mean, everybody was profoundly moved. So that let me know right there that the Jackie Robinson story of what he had to go through was bigger than just the African-American struggle. Like, it could be relatable to all audiences, and I think that's important because when you're telling something about Jackie Robinson, all of the strife he went through to overcome all these things, as you said earlier about Hollywood telling the story, does the story make all audiences feel a certain way? And I definitely believe that this film will move everybody's soul if they take the chance to go and see it, if that makes sense.
Cool. And this is Devin, by the way. I wanted to ask you about Chadwick Boseman. He played Jackie Robinson, of course. He's an HU alum, Howard University. That's another one.
I read that.
Modest. And he's a relative unknown, but kind of landed a doozy of a role in his first major film. So
I'm gonna tell you something about him. Check this out. I'm glad you mentioned him. I'm gonna tell you something about him. I'm glad you mentioned him for a second. Like my first film was a film called Train Ride, as you guys mentioned, which I was glad you mentioned that, right? So a guy discovered it in that film, his name was Russell Hornsby. I went to school with Russell. I gave him a big break in Train Ride. But Russell, after Train Ride came out, got a lead role in a show called Lincoln Heights. That was a good show on ABC Family, right? On that show, Lincoln Heights, Chadwick Boseman had a role in that show as his stepson who came back from the war, and he was kind of a shell shock.
He was excellent.
Yes, see what I mean? And he's the kind of actor that doesn't need a lot of screen time to make his presence known. But I'm glad to see him get such a big break in this movie, playing this great character. And you know, his wife is good. Nicole Behari is his wife, and Harrison Ford plays a major role in his life as well as Branch Rickey, who kind of discovers him and sticks up for him and kind of gets him through all those problems of racism, or at least tries to, after he kind of handpicks him to be the one to break this race barrier. But I think Chadwick Boseman is going to benefit immensely because, as you know, I mean, as we all know, most of the time black actors don't get a chance to play such a three-dimensional role when they first get their break. They're just not opportunities out there for us to do that. We don't get those opportunities because they're not there for us to have. So for him to get this big-budget opportunity playing Jackie Robinson is a big deal. I just hope that people go see the film, because if Hollywood sees this film make money, they'll take another chance on, let's say Jesse Owens' film comes up to be made.
Exactly.
They'll give a chance for someone else to get an opportunity. I'm all about discovering talent because I discovered Wood Harris in my first film, Train Ride. I gave Wood Harris his first real break.
Yeah. My man Wood.
And Wood is still working. You know what I'm saying? So Russell's still working.
Okay.
Russell's on a show now called Grimm, and my latest film, Change the Game, Sean Riggs, he's still working. So I'm glad Hollywood, tapped Chadwick Boseman to be the lead. I think when you see the film, he did a great job. If you look at pictures of Jackie Robinson, you go online and look at his pictures, Chadwick Boseman favors him a lot if you look
Right.
close at the pictures, and I think that, when you guys see the film, you'll definitely see that he gave justice to the role and pride for the role. It's a great film, man. Another guy's in the movie, too, called Andre Holland. He plays like the writer that covers him the whole time, an African-American writer that covers him the whole time.
Now, is that
he has
the
a
guy
strong role,
who
too.
plays on the sitcom 1600 Pen?
Is that him? Is that the one?
Yeah,
I heard something about that.
He's like the
I think that is him.
press secretary in that show or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually like him in that particular show, so I'm pretty sure he did a good from the previews. It seems like they showed him a lot in it as well, so it seems like he has a pretty big role in the film.
Yeah, he's pivotal.
Yeah,
He in fact at one point in the film he tells Jackie Robinson, he's like, you know what, my career rides on your success as well. If you fail, I'm going to fail. I mean, you're my whole career. Like, I'm covering everything you do from when you get up in the morning to when you go to bed at night. So if you go out here and you don't succeed, my career is down the toilet as well. So it's almost like there's two brothers in the crusade instead of one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad these young brothers got a chance to to get their chance in a major film. Rel, like I said, we're all Philly guys, CHS alum. If the story was told honestly, from what we know from our research, then it's impossible for them to shed a positive light on our city and the Phillies organization in particular. How bad did our hometown come off in this film?
I'm glad you asked. It's hard to say because, racism back then was very prevalent, right? So we know that the Phillies were a big part of the racist acts against Jackie Robinson. So they show that. They show it very plainly, the manager there, but they show other teams being adverse to him as well. The Pittsburgh Pirates and other teams as well. The Phillies definitely stick out, though. There's no question about it. The Phillies definitely stick out, like a sore thumb. The manager and the way that manager is admonished for his actions, are shown as well. But I think that the most important thing is there's a lesson to be learned from all of it. It's not like the racism is shown and there's no repercussions for it. It's shown, it's addressed, and it's dealt with. The important thing that I think that is important to know, but as you as conscious brothers know, the real question is this: can the big time athletes today, these brothers making $10, $20, $30 million a year, do they understand if it wasn't for Jackie Robinson that they wouldn't be where they are today? See what I mean? The way I see it is we have to realize, it's like me. I would be where I am today if Gordon Parks, other people wouldn't have said, I want to make films, and Spike Lee, I want to make films, so that opens the door for me to make my films. But the question is, for brothers that have no knowledge of Jackie Robinson, will they go see this film and say, man, I'm glad Jackie Robinson did what he did, because since he did what he did, now I'm in a position now as a baseball player or as a basketball player or as a football player, whatever field of sports that they're in, will they be thankful that somebody had the audacity and the courage to go and put up with this hell? And that's what it was.
Exactly.
There's no other way to put it. It's hell. I can see if I had a bunch of people backing me up, but as one man, I'm one man against the world pretty much. You know what I mean? I had to be the one. My whole race succeeds or fails on my ability to succeed in this field that was not for the African American. Baseball, as you know, was not a sport that was founded on African Americans being a part of it. So I hope that people could go see this film and appreciate that Jackie Robinson did this at a cost for himself.
Yeah,
bro.
You
know how you can get that question answered. You make a film about a great black athlete from back in the day, and see if you can get some funding help from some of these rich young athletes out here. That'll probably answer your question right there.
If they go see the film, I'm telling you, if they go see the movie, they're going to be moved. It's really, it's not really something that they're going to be able to ignore. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you asked that question, Dad, because it's one thing I remember. Of course, I'm too young to remember Jackie Robinson playing, but my grandfather, and we're from Philadelphia, but he couldn't stand the Phillies until the day he passed because of that. Because of that, he couldn't stand the Phillies until the day he passed. And I'll never forget that because, because of the treatment of Jackie Robinson, because, it was a different whole story from his vantage point.
And you know what? The good thing about the film is, though, it humanizes him. It's like they don't portray him as an invincible man who just whatever happened to him, he just had the right answer to everything. Like, this is a human guy. Like, you see him, there's times you could obviously see that this gentleman wanted to say, you know what, to hell with this. I can't take any more of this. It's too much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They show that in the film. But he just said, you know what, I have to keep going because the crusade is bigger than just me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. All right, so yeah, everybody out there, you got to go see this film. It opens tomorrow in theaters everywhere.
And not on Blu-ray, right?
Exactly. Like Rel said, if you support the film, then later on down the line, you're probably helping other young brothers get a chance to do the same thing. But before we get you out of here, Rel, let everybody know, about what you're doing right now. Some of your past films, present films, future projects. What are you working on?
Well, I want to definitely get my next film going soon. But yeah, Change the Game was a very strong release last year that came out. Lionsgate Films out in the theaters last year. A lot of critical acclaim, and
people still get that film. Good acclaim for that. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they can get that from Amazon and anywhere they can get. Wherever they get movies nowadays. There's so many ways to watch movies. My first film, Train Ride, that was Sony Pictures. But you know what? Another reason why I love this film by Jackie Robinson is because all my films are about young African American men making the right decisions to get to the next level in their lives, to make a decision and stand by. Change the Game is about a young man, goes up to North Philadelphia, very smart young man, and he overcomes adversity through his spiritual grounding and his faith and his intelligence. Gets him out of North Philadelphia, but he doesn't forget where he came from. He uses those principles to succeed in life and make the right decisions. Same thing with the Jackie Robinson film. But
Rel, you wrote a story about me, man.
Hey, man, sounds like you, right, brother? But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. This film, though, the big thing, but the big thing about this movie 42 is coming along at the right time because it shows that black people and white people and all races of people can work together and get something done that's positive. It's not a polarizing film. See what I mean? It's not a demonizing film. It shows that people can work together and stick together, even though things might get tough and arduous. People can work together as a group to uplift each other. It's not a separatist film. It's an equality-based film. And I think in this day and age in 2013, this film's message could not be more important, as you and I and we all know.
Cool. Well, you're family now, so anything you do in the future, you can always run it by us, and we'll promote it. You can come on and promote it. We'd like to thank you for your time today.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, everybody get out there and see that movie. And, we'll come back, call in. Everybody can call in next week, and we can talk about it. So thank you for your time,
one last thing, if they see it opening weekend, that's the best time to see it because that's when the numbers count the most. You know what I'm saying? Opening weekend is the best time to see a film. I know things get busy, but as far as our films are concerned, our films about our people, opening weekend numbers make the biggest difference.
Yep, get that early momentum. All right, man. Well, thanks for your time.
Yes.
All right, we'll talk to you.
All right, I appreciate you guys. Good looking out.
Take care.
All right, peace.
All right, that's Rel Dowdell, everybody. Filmmaker, Changing the Game, Train Ride. Go see that movie 42 this weekend.
Kuwait, it's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.